Hi, this is Guillermo. I'm going to show you how I set up my development environment in Linux for developing homebrew Nintendo 3DS apps. I will show you all I learned about it. So it's going to be devkitPro as a toolchain and compiler, and QtCreator as a IDE. And I'm running Arch Linux, but I did some magical stuff. So I have an actual Ubuntu installation inside of Arch Linux and with no packages installed. So I can show you how to install everything from scratch. So let's begin. First I'm going to install devkitPro. So that's sudo apt-get install pkg-config and wget. These are just necessary. Wget will be the next command I use, which is here, just to install, to download the installer script for devkitPro, and then I will have to make it executable. Oh wait, I'm in the wrong directory. I'm going to just type cd and followed by pwd, so to see that I'm now in my home directory. So I'm going to download that script, say chmod +x, and then run it with the sudo command. So this will actually install pacman, the package manager, which will then allow us to install packages from the devkitPro repositories. And there's a meta package for different kind of consoles. And as you can see here, I'm only interested in Nintendo 3DS for now. So dkp-pacman as 3DS -dev. It lets you choose which sub-packages you want to install, but I'm just going to grab all of them. But maybe I can go through what each of the packages are. So I think the most important one is libcitro, which is the core framework and hardware interface libraries. It's fairly low level and awesome. I really like it. And Citro 2D and 3D are just sort of frameworks for 2D and 3D graphics. Cmake. The examples are really useful, and maybe we will go through them in this video or another video quickly. So, and Cmake, but all the examples and all the code I've seen is just using Unix and Make files, not Cmake. And it's on installing all the packages. This will go into /opt devkitpro. So here we can see all the stuff. Just going to quickly install Midnight Commander because I like it, and it's kind of helpful to browse the directories. So yeah, devkitARM has all the compiler and the toolchain. Examples is nicely grouped into categories. I've been recently exploring the GPU or the graphics examples. Before we can compile, we need to set up those environment variables, devkitpro, devkitARM, devkitPPC. Although I think the PPC was never relevant to me. So I am going to, do I have Vim? No, VI or nano. I'm going to edit my bashrc file and just copy those environment variable directives, and I'm going to source my bashrc. So now I should have a tool named 3ds link. Just the fact that it is available signals to me that the environment variable is set. And I'm going to copy the examples directory to my home folder, because otherwise it will be read-only. I'm going to copy with -r to my home folder. And now let's see if we can compile one of them. Sorry, I'm having a hard time to decide. I'm just going to go for input, read controls. And here we can see there's a source folder and there's this make file. It's very neat. To be honest, I haven't really understood make files until I had to learn a little bit more, because Cmake seems to be much more common these days, but Cmake just creates make files. So yeah, here you can see you can add your own include and source directories, and if you want to use the romfs, which is like a way to store files inside the 3dsx binary. Yeah, so by now I should just be able to run make, and you see it compiles and created the Linux binary, the .elf, and from that the 3ds, which is runnable on a 3ds console. So next I can launch the homebrew launcher on a physical 3ds console and press Y. If I press Y, it brings up the 3ds netloader screen, which will tell me an IP address and a port number, which I can use, but I can also simply pass the 3dsx file to 3ds link, and it will automatically find the console and upload the binary to be executed, and it's running, so that's great. So on to QtCreator. All right, QtCreator is being installed. It's going to take a while. See you then. Okay, QtCreator is there. Sorry, I forgot to mention the other, or to explain the other directories. Or I think there's one that's important, which is portlibs. That's for like additional libraries that you can install or even create yourself. They will always be installed here. So that means like include directories, lib directories, and so forth. It seems like currently I only have the Cmake thing there. And then we have the tools, which is, yeah, what you see here. For example, Picasso is an shader assembler and compiler. And 3ds link, I mentioned it before, you can upload the binary to the hardware. Of course, you can also run the code in an emulator. All right, so let's run QtCreator. I'm going to put an ampersand so that it doesn't block the terminal. Yes, so here we have QtCreator. Of course, the first thing to do is find the dark mode and go to the dark side. Here we have QtCreator dark. All right. Now, I learned that to import an project that solely uses Unix makefiles instead of Cmake, you go here to import project and pick the bottommost import existing project. Let's pick the same one. Oh, So that would be input read controls, and so I have to pick the directory that holds the make file, and I have to give it a name for the Qt project. So I'm going to call it Qt input 3ds. Doesn't really matter. Yes, okay, okay. So now we have our project, and you can see like it always creates these 5 files. First thing I tend to do is go add the libctru headers to the include, so that the code navigation and browsing works more nicely. Notice that if I middle or control click on a libctru command, it won't do anything. So I'm going to give it apt-devkitpro libctru include. And now, yeah, you see I can like control left click or hover over it and press F2 to jump to the definition or the signature of a function. I always go to the top right of the screen and split the screen so that I can have like 2 text buffers. And I also normally use fake Vim, which is like the Vim mode, but I think I'm not going to do that for now. All right, so now we should be able to compile. If I click on the hammer, that's the build button. And if I open this compile output tab here, we can see that it built successfully. If I wanted to sort of automate the uploading to the home to the console, I can go here to project, go to run, and give the executable, the executable will be 3ds link. The argument will be the name of the executable. So yeah, we pass the binary as an argument. And we have to give it the working directory as well. All right, and now if I press, well, once again, I need to go to the homebrew launcher, press Y to enter the netloader mode. And now if I press play, it should, yes, it uploads the file to the console and I can see what happens. And so this is pretty cool. Yeah, and of course there's a makefile in the top directory, which would be a method of compiling all the examples in one step. So if I want to do that, I'm gonna come here again and go to examples 3ds, and you see there's a make file here, and I'm gonna call it all examples. Yes, finish, and it's gonna fail. I knew that because there are like I think 3 of the examples require like an external library. So I'm just gonna delete those. I remember it's in audio, it's the mod plug and opus decoding ones. Just get rid of them. And then the physics. Bye physics. And now we see it compiles all the examples. So let's have a look at some of them. So these are all examples from the GPU graphics directory. So yeah, multiple buffers. I think this one is about stereo display. Of course, we can't really see anything. Then fog. Yeah, sorry, I'm just gonna like go through them one by one very quickly. Toon shading. Immediate mode, that simply means drawing primitives and triangles directly without a buffer. 2D shapes, stereoscopic 2D. Oh yeah, both screens. Normal mapping. Particles. Yeah, I've been recently looking into the shaders. I have really no idea about shader development and stuff, but this shader seems to be the most interesting or advanced one because it's creating particles and moving them along a Bezier curve. GPU sprites. Yeah, it's pretty amazing like how little CPU, but even GPU it's using. I mean, this is maybe not really representative as it runs in an emulator and not the hardware, but I think it's actually designed to run like the same speed as the hardware, because yeah, it looks like very similar, like not a whole lot of like not very taxing. It's like a piece of cake for the system. So here's a fragment light. Yeah, simple triangle, white mode. Props to Finks, who I think it seems like he wrote most of the examples and did most of the grunt work for the libc-true library. So GeoShader, yeah, sorry, repeating it. Procedural texture, I wanted to look at this again. And yeah, there's a ton of other demos, like I said, but for other areas, I mean, I'm actually a Patreon supporter for devkitpro monthly because I really think they did a great job with this, and I'm happy that they're like maintaining it to be functional in the future. So yeah, you can see we have you can load different applets. There's like audio examples. Yeah, I mean, I wanted to make a separate video about like the whole DSP chip situation. The Nintendo 3DS has a DSP chip, but it's very much a black box to me. You can program your own like firmwares in assembly, but I'm not able to do that. Sorry, let's go on. It's like, yeah, stuff with the camera. You can capture footage from the camera. Yeah, you can access the touch screen. There's like, you can use the software keyboard applet. You can select a Me. I forgot what this was about, MV. Oh yeah, I think this is like some video playing, like hardware accelerated video playback. Here's network stuff. I've been dabbling a little bit with UDS. That's sort of the data transfer, like via the Wi-Fi antenna. What's used for multiplayer games. NFC. I never really looked into NFC. ROMFS is allows you to embed files or sort of a file system into the 3DS binary and then load the data. I mean, I can quickly show the source code. It's like super easy. You load the file like you would normally from the ROMFS system. Here it is. You see, you just prepend ROMFS and access the file. And here's how you can access this SD card, how to do multi-threading, and how to access the real-time clock. And the templates, they're super useful. It's basically a Makefile with a super simple source code, like boilerplate. You can start with, so this is sort of pretty much every program looks like this, where you init like the graphics system and the console. Then you have this main loop where you query the input and react to like button presses. And yeah, that's basically it. And then you exit. And you can put in whatever you want. And we have a template for libraries. All right, let's get to the debugging. It's gonna get a bit tricky and very manual. So because the GDB that comes with libctro doesn't have Python enabled, it cannot actually be embedded in QtCreator. So I won't be able to use any of this. Instead, all the debugging has to happen in the terminal. So let's say I wanted to debug this main function here. First, on the console, I would have to go to the Homebrew launcher, go to the Rosalina menu by pressing the left shoulder button, select, and down on the D-pad at the same time. Then there's this debugger options menu where I would enable the debugger and select force debug next application at launch. Then press B a couple of times and then Y to go to the 3ds net loader so that I can upload the 3dsx. Then I would do type 3ds link and the name of the 3dsx binary, and then the 3ds will just show a black screen because it's waiting for the debugger to connect. And then I always have this debugged script that I just copy into every repository, but it's just calling the GDB from the devkitpro devkitARM folder and passes the Linux binary in this case. So I do that, and you see it's reading the simples, but it's not connected yet. And then I have like this little cheat sheet here on the right. You would have to type target remote and then the IP address and the port of your Nintendo 3DS. So now it's attached, and now I can say I want to put a breakpoint right at the main function, and then I can hold Control and then press X and A to go into the TUI mode, which is a bit more visual. It's optional, and if I enter C, it'll actually start the program and bring me to that first line. It doesn't look like it's the very first line. Maybe I didn't disable the optimizations, because optimizations will make it skip and have sort of no visibility of certain lines. But yeah, then I can press N to step through. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I should, how much detail I should put in here. I can print variable values. For example, I can see what this red variable has, but you see it's optimized out. Yeah, I'm just gonna let it continue. While it's running, I can always press Ctrl-C to pause it, and then I could either set a new breakpoint or quit. So usually when I want to debug, I will then disable the optimizations here and rebuild. And I have to do the whole thing again. Go to Rosalina, force debug next application at launch, 3ds link, GDB, target remote, set the IP address, set a breakpoint on main, or I use to do this a lot, let's say I want this line, so I can say uds.cpp line 950. Continue, Control XA. So I can, doing the XA thing allows you to sort of switch forth and back between TUI mode and console mode. Yeah, but luckily you don't have to do like this every time. Of course, things can be automated. GDB is actually pretty advanced, or has pretty nice scripting capabilities. So I'm just gonna quit the program again. For one, you can put in a .gdb init file, and I'm just gonna I renamed the one that I had here just to for the sake of demonstration. But if I look inside it, you see it's doing the target remote line and enabling the TUI and setting of different making different settings. So yeah, until recently I've been only debugging on the hardware, on the actual 3DS console, but discovered or like learned how to do it with Citra as well. So I have this run C script that'll just pass the executables to Citra, and so I can quickly test it. But if I want to actually debug it, I would have to do -shell and then gdb noise commander .elf, and then I have this command 3ds Citra. If I make this stay in the foreground, then I can hold it and put a breakpoint somewhere. Yeah, okay, so now we stopped at this function. Yeah, what's great about using the emulator versus the hardware is mostly that the connection via the Wi-Fi connection sometimes is less stable, and the debugger will simply sort of freeze when it's losing the connection or something. So it's a bit more reliable when using the emulator. Yeah, and I did find a way to sort of at least have the ability to put breakpoints in QtCreator and like export them to GDB. My method of exporting the breakpoints from QtCreator to GDB is I have this GDB alibi project that I need to activate, put a breakpoint, press F5 to debug it so that it stops at that breakpoint. And this is all just so that it exposes this Python interpreter window here. So because I injected a Python function for exporting, so I just just call that save function, and it will export a breakpoints.txt file to the temp folder. At this point, I can probably just start over, delete all the breakpoints, and let's say I want to break in the main widget loop or draw, let's say the draw function. So I put a breakpoint here, go here, activate the prompt and press enter. Then this is the breakpoint file, and here I can just say get breaks and type info b for breaks, and it should have that exact line. So is it line 27? Yes. All right. And I can continue, and it'll stop there. Yeah, so that's not too bad. I got used to it. Alright, and I think this concludes the video. Thanks for watching. I hope this is in some way helpful, and maybe let me know if you develop anything interesting I should have a look at. Bye bye.